Greetings. Today I want to talk to you about the will, one of your higher faculties. But before I do that, let me just recap what it is that we have been looking at in terms of your higher faculties. What separates humans from the rest of animals? It is our mind. However, we have become accustomed to using our five senses: see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Animals can do all of those. But human being, in having the mind, there is certain intellectual faculties which we have. Some people refer to them as your gifts. Some people talk about blessings. But these are intellectual faculties which everyone has regardless of their belief. We often talk about the power that lies within, and that is what we are referring to, the faculties. And today, as I said, we look at will. What does the will do? It allows us to focus our attention, especially on our goals and objectives. Often hear they talk about someone is indisciplined, that he goes off and behaves in different kinds of way. And then they say you need to have willpower. No, that's force. Force negates. It lasts for a little while and then you're back to your habitual behavior. So the will, as I said, allow you to focus your attention to avoid distractions. And this is something especially which a lot of young people or younger people face. The inability to focus their attention on any given particular task that they're doing. They're easily distracted, whether it's social media, which is this, or, you know, other activities that are taking place. How can you strengthen your will? Let me give you perhaps a little two exercise. You can use a candle, light a candle, be careful now, and just look at the flame. And looking at the flame, your mind will wander. You're going to bring back your mind to the flame until you and the flame are at one. This will require lots of practice for you to do that. Do not be disturbed. You're not going to focus maybe for less than a second, a millisecond. But as you develop the ability to do this, you're going to become much better at it. Or you can put a dot, a little dot at- on a wall, and then you stare at the dot until you and the dot becomes one. Again, your mind will wander, you bring it back to the dot. And in that way, you will develop your ability to focus. Because once you develop the ability to focus on one thing, you'll be able to develop the ability to focus on anything. And here's an extra tip for people who are in the academic field, students at college, at whatever. When you're studying, how do you study? Do you use your will to study? Here is a tip. Study for only blocks of 1 hour, but break it down into 15 minutes. You study for 15 minutes, you give yourself 5 minute break. You study for 15 minutes, and then you give yourself a 5 minutes break. You study for another 15 minutes, and you give yourself a 5 minutes break. And then move to another subject for the next hour. Do not spend time dealing with the same thing repeatedly for 3 hours, 4 hours. In fact, there's a thing called a law of diminishing returns. So after a time, you actually not concentrating on what it is you do. The next is repetition. Keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. Read the same thing over and over several times. In mathematics, you look at the correct particular problem and you actually write out the correct answer several times. Then you tackle the particular problem associated with that. And what is going to happen? You are going to become more proficient and effective in your study habit because you learn to use your will. Take care until next time.